Hello, how you doing? So today we've got a new film, I say new, 2021, by the director James Wan. You may have heard of him. And yep, it's going to be Malignant. So there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this one, so if you don't mind, carry on watching. And if you do mind, what are you watching a film review for of a film you've never seen? It's going to ruin it. So let's take a look at the synopsis on them damn interwebs. Madison, a young woman, is terrified by visions of the murders of strangers. Later, Madison decides to find and save the victims. Wow, such in-depth synopsis there. Directed by James Wan and a 2021 thriller drama. Running time 1 hour 51. Now, the film starts with an ominous-looking building on the coast. I wonder what that could be. Oh, it's a research hospital. Not creepy at all. Straight away, you see a doctor telling you about a patient called Gabriel who's apparently a bit of a pain in the arse. He escapes, and it shows the doctors and staff trying to recapture Gabriel. Now apparently, Gabriel can drink electricity and control machines, hence why you see lights flickering and weird sounds going off. You see this orderly get launched into a wall with some decent force, so Gabriel must be strong too. Now, the staff manage to recapture Gabriel and restrain him, and you see a glimpse of some ugly little creature through a plastic curtain. And the only way Gabriel can speak is to broadcast his thoughts through electrical devices, such as stereos. Amazing! Check this scene out. This male doctor is such a pleb, I think. The way he delivers this terrible bit of dialogue makes me proper cringe. Here we have Madison, the main protagonist to the film. She comes home to her useless fucking partner, Derek, who's not only a massive prick, he's also a really shit actor as well in my opinion. He says some really horrible shit and then proceeds to knock the sense out of her for no good reason, causing her to bleed from the head. Derek sleeps on the couch for being a wife-beating scummy bastard and hears some weird sounds coming from the kitchen. He investigates, only to get a shadow figure smash his goofy face in. Madison gets out of bed to see what's going on, only to find Derek's lifeless corpse with some slight neck issues. That's what sleeping on the couch will do to you. Madison also gets attacked by the shadow creature and gets KO'd by a door. She wakes up in hospital afterwards, only to hear the sad news that she's lost a child due to the attack. Once home again, she starts to feel really uncomfortable in the house as she thinks the shadowy figure is back again, so she ramps up the home security with a bit of DIY. Then we see a tour operator of the old underground city of Seattle who sees out the visitors only to experience some freaky goings on and then gets ambushed by the shadowy figure. However, she gets kidnapped rather than killed and wakes up tied up in a loft. We've all been there. Throughout the film, you'll hear a shitty cover of the Pixies' Where's My Mind keep cropping up. What's with everybody and their dog using that song these days? It's proper doing me head in. Now, the shadowy figure appears and starts talking to the tour operator through the radio. Oh no, the only one guess who this could be then? Yes, Gabriel. So from this point on, I'll refer to the shadowy figure as Gabriel. We see Madison doing a spot of laundry and her head starts to bleed, only for us to then see an old bitch's screaming face through the washer door, which scares the fuck out of Madison, as I'm sure it would most people. We then see Madison's surroundings melt away and she sees Gabriel kill the old bag by koshing her to death with her own trophy. Ooh, graphic. Then we see cops investigating the scene of the murder and the director James Wan's girlfriend playing the CSI agent here. Nice one, Wan, but he's clearly not going out with her because of her great acting talent. So the cops find out the old bag who was murdered was the doctor shown at the beginning, and they find a picture of Madison, making her a person of interest. We see Gabriel has fashioned a weapon out of the trophy he battered the old bag with, and Madison telling her sister Sydney about her having a vision of the old bag getting done in. Now Maddie keeps having visions of other deaths and Gabriel keeps visiting her, and this gets more frequent and more intense as the film plods on. Maddie and Sydney visit the cops to tell them about her visions, and that Maddie saw not only the old bag get killed, but an old bastard got killed too, who turns out to be the old cringy male doctor from the beginning of the film. And then they try and let the police know about it, even though the cops think she's mental after saying that she saw it all in a vision. Anyway, Maddie leads the cops to the scene of the crime, only for them to find the old dead bastard. Later on, Officer Shaw finds there were 3 doctors that were involved with Maddie when she was a patient, 2 of which have been killed so far, and 1 who is still alive for now. While Maddie has a vision of Gabriel visiting the last doctor, the cop rushes to the last doctor's home to see if he can save him. But he's too late. He's a goner in the bathtub. Watch out, copper, Gabe's right there. As you can tell, Gabe's not much of a looker. Anyway, Gabe does a runner and Officer Shaw gives chase. He jumps onto a bin and then follows Gabe into the old city tunnels while Gabe runs like a weirdo. Shaw misses Gabe with every shot and he gets away. Officer Moss and Shaw visit Maddie to tell her that all her childhood doctors were killed and tells Maddie her real identity, as she had memory loss until she was adopted by Sydney's parents. So she gets hypnotised and she finds out that she was proper weird as a kid and had an imaginary friend called Gabriel. And she tells the cops the killer is Gabriel and they look at her like she's a right idiot. The woman tied up in the loft escapes and belly flops through the ceiling onto a coffee table. Now Maddie gets arrested, and while at the police station, Gabriel talks to the police while they interview Maddie. Her sister Sydney visits their mum, and she tells Sid which hospital Maddie was a patient of, which is the one seen at the beginning. Could she park any closer to that cliff? We see Maddie in a holding cell, presumably full of prostitutes and a black lady who's been arrested for being in the wrong decade fashion-wise. Sydney finds Maddie's files and finds out Gabriel was a parasitic twin attached to the back of Maddie's head and back. And then the hospital removed him mostly, apart from the face which was pushed into the back of Maddie's skull. We then see Maddie in the holding cell again, getting smack talk from some butch prosy, only to go apeshit on them all and smash a copper's face in and escape. We see Gabe break out of the police station and annihilate a shitload of police officers and show off some John Wick style fighting skills. And then he launches a chair at officers Moss and Shaw, knocking them the fuck out. Then James Wan's missus turns up to help them. Moving on, we see Sydney go to the hospital where the lady who fell through Maddie's ceiling is being kept. It turns out this is Maddie's birth mother before she was adopted, and I'll give you a few guesses where Gabe is going to turn up. Yep, so Gabe / Maddie turn up and is planning to kill his mother. Sydney gets a hospital bed thrown on her. And as Gabe is about to kill both Sydney and their mother, Maddie manages to take back control from Gabe and locks him away in a mental prison cell. So after they completely fuck up the hospital room, both Sydney and Shitmum survive. And I guess that's a happy ending then. Now, I couldn't give a toss about this film. It's worth a watch. It was Jamie that wanted to review this one, so I'll hand you over to the bald bastard and he can tell you what he thought.
I am going to recommend this one before we even review it, just because it is a good film. Now, there is a few things that I want to point out about this film. And yes, Shaun was right, it probably is one of my favourites. Not because it's particularly good, just because I was that critical about this film. There's a few bits in it that they could have just made so much better. For example, this particular scene. I mean, yeah, that was pretty brutal. What they could have done is when they were panning like this, at that exact moment there, I would have had his legs pulled under the bed or had him pulled under the bed with that much force. As he goes down, he breaks both of his wrists and smashes his face on the floor. That scene would have been brutal. It'd have been absolutely amazing. I've never seen it in a film personally. I don't know if that scene has ever been shot, but it would have been a fantastic scene. So the next scene is the tunnels. Now, the tunnels could have been done so much better. This scene in particular,
Hello?
yep, all that build up for nothing. What I think should have happened is it should have Gabriel should have either dropped down and grabbed her or jumped from one side to the other. The tipping point for me for this film was the ending. The worst scene of the entire movie, and guess what? Yes, it's the ending. Why do it? When I watch this film now, when it goes to that scene in the hospital, I just switch it off. I'd have been happy if they'd have killed a sister. Like I wouldn't have been happy because I thought her sister was looking fantastic during the film. Yeah, that scene pissed me off a lot. So there were other scenes in this film that I didn't enjoy. Mainly all these shots of the house.
Any sign of forced entry?
Not that we've seen.
Please let me stay with you for a few days. I can blow off work here, you know?
I know, but this is my home.
All three victims were involved in the same case.
Yep, we made a compilation. Not only the shots of the house, the shots of other buildings as well that we didn't even include, like the police station.
Somehow I'm
So there is some absolutely crazy acting scenes in this. So we've got a CSI that gets so excited about seeing things, I had to mention it. I mean, seriously, come on, just watch this.
Uh-oh, here comes Miss Lonely Heart.
Hey, Kikla.
Winning? How bad is it?
I've never seen anything quite like it. Maybe from a vehicular accident, but not this. This is something special.
Yeah, she's really that excited. She's like a kid at Christmas. And I mean, this is what she was referring to. She must have something seriously wrong with her.
Nice one, Jamie. Now, what are we rating it?
Give it a 4 out of 5 for story, because there is some story. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 on action, because there is some really good action scenes. Nudity, we're going to get a 0 because there is none. And then overall, we're probably going to get a 4 because the lack of nudity is outweighed by the amount of action there is. So that basically sums up the film. Now, I will recommend you watch it. If you can look past the missed opportunities by the director and the terrible acting, there is a story. Not a good one, but there is a story. There is some really good deaths, and it is a pretty good watch.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.